Dungeons. Every Zelda game has them, and in each dungeon is a boss, whether we like it or not. There are some that we hate and some that we love. Hey guys, it's Legend and Avi, and today I'll be sharing with you my top 10 Zelda bosses. And this was requested by Organized Chaos Gaming. He did say Nintendo bosses, but I'm just going to do Zelda because really there isn't much, Nintendo bosses other than like Bowser and stuff. But keep up the comments, guys. I've been getting quite a few lately and I like it, so keep doing it on what videos I should make. But without further ado, let's go straight to my number 10 spot. Alright, so for my number 10 spot, I have the GYORG pair. And weird thing about this one is GYORG is actually a boss in Majora's Mask as well, but they're completely different species, and it's very weird. But basically the GYORG pair, as in the name, is a pair of mantis-like looking creatures that fly in the sky. Hey, that rhymes. But the female version is much bigger and has 8 eyes, which you are supposed to attack. And you can't just attack one eye on its own, and you have to use Link, White Sword, to make 2 phantom or ghost links that attack the eyes. And then once you've done that, I think there's about 3 eyes that you have to attack at once. Once you've done that, all 8 are exposed, and that's when you can slash at those. So once you've done that, you have to hop on the male version, and his tail goes around and you have to jump over that and attack his eyes. He has 4 in each corner of him. I thought this was a very creative way of battling, and very satisfying once you have all when you have all those links attacking the eyes. It's very satisfying to me for some reason. But very creative enemy, and I like the style of this, and it was actually somewhat challenging towards the end because you had these little green creatures flying at you as well, so very challenging sometimes. But yeah, that's the GYORG. I still don't know how to pronounce that. GYORG pair. So that was my number 10 spot. Let's go straight to the number 9 spot. Okay, so for my number 9 spot, I almost said 3 there for some reason, but we have SKALDERA. I don't know, again, how to pronounce this, but a remotely easy boss to defeat. What you do is basically it goes up this slope, and it walks up it, and you have to throw a bomb at it to make it roll back down. And once you've done that, he inhales for some reason to try to get you, I guess, and you just throw a bomb in its mouth. He chomps on it, then explodes, and then basically you have to hit his eye, which is, of course, his weak spot. You have to keep doing this until he doesn't have much rock left on his body, and then he uses his 6 legs to walk up and roll down, which you can easily avoid. So, again, very easy, but the way that you fight this enemy is pretty unique. I mean, you're on a huge slope. It's almost like an Indiana Jones type style, I guess. I don't know, but again, remotely easy enemy to defeat, but very fun, and I enjoyed this battle a lot, and definitely remembered this. So yeah, that is SKALDERA. Again, I guess I should tell you guys that he's from the Earth Temple from Skyward Sword, but yeah, SKALDERA. I don't know, again, if I'm pronouncing that right, but anyways, let's just go straight to the number 8 spot. Alright, so for my number 8 spot, I have ODOLWA. ODOLWA. I don't really know how to pronounce most of these, I'm sorry. But this is the first boss you will see in Majora's Mask in the Jungle Temple, Woodfall Temple. It's basically the same thing, but they call him the Masked Jungle Warrior, and basically he looks like a tribe warrior. I mean, he has a shield, a mask on, and a sword, and he does various swords attacks, like a spin attack, most commonly, and basically tries to get you, and he also does leap upward out of sight, and he can come back down anywhere on the battle floor, I guess. But you have to defeat him by using the mask you obtain, the Deku Scrub Mask. And you have to go in one of the flower pods, come out with those flowers spinning, and I'm pretty sure drop either I think a bomb or a Deku. I'm not really, I can't really remember too well, but you have to do something with the flower and the Deku Scrub Mask. But I loved how you had to attack, you know, him and the way you did it. So, again, a very unique enemy. Haven't seen a lot of unique enemies, have we? Yeah, no, there's a lot of unique enemies in Zelda, but that is the ODOLWA. Again, don't know how to pronounce it, but he is the first enemy or boss you will see. So, yeah, in Majora's Mask. But yeah, so my goodness, the Skype, it keeps happening. Anyways, that was my 8th spot, and I will see you guys in my number 7 spot. Alright guys, so for my number 7 spot, I have GOHMA from the Wind Waker, and this is the first boss that you will face in the first dungeon, of course. And it almost reminds me of Twin Mold from Majora's Mask, just the shape of it and everything. And it almost, it looks like a centipede basically that's huge and in lava. But basically how you destroy this boss is by using Link's grappling hook to get on the tail of a dragon that's above the, I guess, arena or battlefield, and you have to, he is sitting on the rock, the dragon, and you have to make the rock fall onto GOHMA. And you have to do this 3 times until it loses its rock layer, kind of like the last one. Or not the last one, but SKALDERA. But basically, once that is done, you have to have him put both of his like claws onto the ground and then attack its eye to destroy it. You have to do this 3 times again to do that. But it's a remotely easy boss, but I like the way that you do it because the dragon on top is actually a very weird way of destroying this enemy by making the rock fall onto GOHMA. And funny as well. But another weird thing about this is that it actually appears again in Ganon's tower towards the end of the game. And it is very weird that this happens, but we get to face off with it again. And that is what makes it pretty darn cool that you get to do this again. And of course, it's going to be a lot harder since you have more hearts, better gear, and more things that you can use to destroy it. But that's about it for GOHMA. So let's go straight to my number 6 spot. Alrighty guys, for my number 6 spot, I have Phantom Ganon. And this is the first boss that you will be facing as Adult Link in Ocarina. And is somewhat challenging. I mean, I had a hard time. I may have died a couple times trying to defeat him. But basically, he is not the real Ganon. It's just a phantom of him on a horse. And he goes through paintings and so there's fake ones that come out. So there's 6 paintings in the room, I'm pretty sure. And there's 6, or I don't know how many fake ones there are, but you have to find the real one, shoot it, and then it goes back in the painting. Once you've done this, again, probably 3 times, I don't know though, then he will come out, get rid of his horse, and he has this staff that he shoots like electric energy bolts at you, and you have to deflect them. But this is the fun part about this battles. But so you deflect it, or you hit it back at him, and you guys basically play tennis with each other until you have hit him and he has not been able to deflect one of them. And I think you have to do this 3 times. Basically everything in Zelda for bosses is 3 times hitting it or doing whatever, but yeah, that is Phantom Ganon. A very fun enemy to, I don't know why I keep saying enemy, boss to fight. And, yeah, so that is about it for that. And let's go straight to the number 5 spot. Okay, so for my number 5 spot, I have GOT, and I think I'm actually saying this one right, but he is from Majora's Mask, and I personally faced him in Majora's Mask 3D, which has a little bit different of a way of defeating him, and I'll get to that, but, this is a mechanical machine beast goat, thing, you know, it's really weird. He isn't like, I mean, all of the gosh, I keep saying enemies, but all the bosses from Majora's Mask are kind of weird. I mean, you got ODOLWA, GOT, and then GYORG. All weird names and kind of weird bosses. But anyways, he basically, you have to use the Goron mask to almost race him, and you have to hit him with your spikes on the Goron once you get going fast enough. And there's like little bumps on the way, and you have to get the magic from these pots, and it's really fun. It's definitely one of my most favorite and memorable boss battles from Majora's Mask. But once you've done that, and in the 3D version, I will tell you guys what you have to do, but once you've done that and got him down, you have to shoot his eye, which comes from his back. It's kind of weird, but in the 3DS version, you have to shoot his eye with the flame arrows, or just regular arrows, but flame arrows do more damage, so that's basically how everybody does it. But in the regular Majora's Mask, I'm pretty sure you just have to hit him somewhere, so not a big difference, but they did do this for every enemy in the 3D version. So yes, this is GOT, and he's from the Snowhead Temple, just so you guys know. But yeah, that is GOT. So let's go straight to my number 4 spot. Alright, so for my number 4 spot is one that actually isn't a boss. This is Dark Link from Ocarina of Time. Now, this is a mini-boss from the Water Temple, which is probably one of the most annoying temples in Zelda, because it takes so long to complete, but we're not talking about dungeons here. Actually, I'm probably going to do that for another video, but, Dark Link is just, or Shadow Link, I mean, it's called a Shadow Link or Dark Link, but he's basically a mirror of yourself, so when you try to attack him, he's going to do the same thing, and both swords are going to collide, and no damage is going to be done to either of them. And the funny thing about, so if you do a stab attack, I'm pretty sure, Dark Link will jump on your sword, and sometimes he can attack you. So it's very funny to see that. But this was a very fun battle to do, and I really enjoyed it, so I had to put it in this list somewhere. But the Megaton Hammer, you can destroy him with that. He has nothing against that, so you can basically hit him with that to destroy him, but I didn't know that, so I used my sword, and it took quite a while, but yeah, that is Dark Link for my number 4 spot. Let's get straight to the number 3 spot. Alright, so my number 3 spot is Twin Rova from Ocarina of Time, and oh my goodness, is their laugh bad to the ears, but basically Twin Rova is 2 sorcerer sisters that, one of them is fire, one of them is ice, and they attack you with these beams, which you can reflect with your mirror shield, and so when the fire one attacks you with its beam, you have to reflect that beam to the ice one, and that does the damage. Once you've done this enough, they actually combine to make one, and they do their ice attack, so you have to deflect that. Well, not really deflect, you absorb it with the mirror shield 3 times, and then you let it blast on them, and then you can go attack her. Then, technically, but it's one person, basically. This battle was just really fun to do. I mean, deflecting them in the beams and everything. Very, very fun, and kind of a, I don't know what you'd call it, but interesting battle, I guess. Definitely a very good one. And you can actually see these sisters in Majora's Mask in the swamp. They have a potion shop, and you actually buy stuff from them. Very weird, but like how they included them into Majora's Mask. Very cool. But yeah, that's the twin ROVA. Again, it's not that challenging, but it is very fun. So that is twin ROVA. That was my number 3 spot. Let's go straight to the number 2 spot. Okay, so for my number 2 spot, I have KOLOKTOS from SKYWARD Sword. And dang, is this battle fun. And let me just get started off on how you defeat it. So basically, you have the whip that you obtain in this dungeon, and you use that to take off his arms, but he also is throwing these blades at you and swinging them at you. But once you've got most of those arms off, you have to try to hit his middle weak spot when it's open, and that's how you basically defeat him. But once you've done enough damage to him while he's in the ground, he actually gets up and has 2 legs, and then he brings out 6 swords that are awesome. This enemy does look pretty cool, and that's a part of the reason why it's fun, and it's in this list. But you actually take, so he swings 3 with 1 arm, well, 6 arms, but he swings 3 of the swords. They go in the ground. You have to take them, all 3 of them, out with a whip, and then the swords drop. And then you actually have to use the sword, his swords, next time when he does that attack, and take out his other 3 arms, and then he's vulnerable to attacks. And you actually have to use his sword, which is a part of the reason why it's awesome. It's a great feature that they added to it. Just makes it a lot more fun. And this enemy is actually inspired by like Buddhism. The whole, it's like a Buddhist theme, basically, the whole dungeon. This really tops it off. Yeah, I mean, this really is a fun enemy. Oh my god, why do I keep seeing freaking enemies? I don't know why, but this was a very fun boss to attack, and it was a very memorable battle from SKYWARD Sword, so that is why it made this list. But my number 1 spot has to be my favorite, and it's actually from my favorite game, so yeah, let's go straight to the number 1 spot. Alright, for my number 1 spot is the STALLORD from Twilight Princess, and this is from the Arbiter's Ground, and that's the 4th dungeon in Twilight Princess. But basically, the STALLORD is a skeleton of a dead beast, and he has been reanimated by Zant. Zant put some sword, I don't know the exact name of it, that basically reanimated it to attack Link. But first you have to attack its spine, and it's actually like buried in the ground, so his whole body isn't exposed, but you have to attack its spine so then he can't stand up anymore. But when you do that, his head is remaining, but it starts to hover, and you actually have to attack that. And this center circular cylinder thing pops out of the ground, and you have to use the spinner item that is a very weird item and kind of fun to use to get up high enough and attack the head. And once you've done that, it falls to the floor, and you can attack the sword and try to get it out of its head so that it will not be animated anymore. But very fun battle using the spinner, and very creative by Nintendo putting the spinner in. I mean, it's very weird item. But the STALLORD is a very fun enemy to face, and very challenging. I actually had to do this a couple times until I completed it. So very hard, very challenging, very fun, and that is why it makes my #1 spot. So, that concludes my top 10 list of bosses from Zelda. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to comment, like, and subscribe, and make sure to stay tuned for my 100 subscriber special that I'll be doing. I have a face reveal, a giveaway, and a shout out to my first 50 subs, so stay tuned for that. But I guess that's about it for this video, guys. Hope you enjoyed again, and hope to see you in a future video. Goodbye.